Peace, 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 peace. What's going on, everyone? This is SHU AMUN RA. And, how you doing? HOTEP. Good morning. The sun rises. All right. Class starts now. I know class is going to be a little bit different, but the reason why I'm doing it this way, starting it off this way, is because, for me to get the information out, you need to see the graphics of what I'm talking about. You have to understand the graphics of what I'm talking about. And you can talk about your information and you can give it its power by words, but I also believe that you need to see the graphics, what you need to see exactly what I'm talking about. So, gods and goddesses, kings and queens, I want you to bear with me. Class is why it's so frustrating to talk to other black people. That's what it's all about. This is what class is about. It's frustrating, okay? And why we can't get along, why we can't unify, all of this is underneath the line. And one of the biggest problems that we have as melanated people is that we are battling on a large scale. There's no respect to a degree between the melanin man and the melanin woman. This is the degree. This is exactly what's going on. So today I will be showing different videos. And I want you to get your pencils and papers. Okay, so to understand exactly what this class is about. And understand, it's not about, we're talking about our black people or melanated people. But I want to get out the way. What I do want to get out the way, so I don't have to repeat myself, is this. I'm SHU AMUN RA. That's my spiritual name that I go by. I am not a scholar. Let's get that out the way. I'm not a reverend. I'm not your deacon. I'm not your minister. I'm not your pastor. I'm not your archaeologist. I'm not your social studies teacher. I'm not an astronomer. I'm not a science teacher. I'm none of these things. So let's get this out of the way. But what I am is the messenger. And what I spew out my mouth is information that I dug up, cross-referenced, studied to make sure, in my mind, this is valuable information for the melanated people, especially those who listen, to take heed and start to re-educate yourself. Now, I tell everybody, and I'll say it again, I don't want you to follow me. I don't need you to follow me. But what I do want is for you to re-educate yourself. Take the information, cross-reference, Google it up, buy the books. Make sure when you do Google, don't just Google one information and you think you solved the problem. No, you got to Google, if you're online, different resources, different scholars. Don't just do black scholars only. You got to do white scholars. Whoever is the scientist or the scholar, whoever did the expedition, and you find out, study it. Study it. Now the class, it ain't going to be easy, but you could study for yourself because you're going to see the information and the things I show you. It's going to be all around you. Okay? So it's going to be all around you. You'll be able to identify a lot of things I'm going to be talking about. And remember, it's not always about ancient history, ancient historical history. It's about what we do as a people now. Because what they done in ancient history has nothing to do with what we do now. Understand that. If you could read the language in Kemetic, if you could read the language in Sumerian, if you could read the language in Babylonian, you could read the language in Peru, all parts of the world, in ancient times, 10,000 years, 5,000 years, how many years, if you could read that ancient civilization, their language, and I mean read it properly, then come forth and explain, are we living the same type of life? Which evidence shows we're not. Two different civilizations. Because here in North and South America, the melanated man and woman is at war. They're at war with themselves first. They have war with each other because you get more and more melanin men stepping outside their culture, their heritage, and just leaving it completely alone. And why is the man constantly worrying about marrying outside his culture? There's so much evidence, and we got to explore these things. So I want to sit there and say to y'all, I see you in my next will not see you. I'll be showing you evidence on why is it so frustrating for black people to be able to communicate. I'm going to show you evidence. So hold on. Now, I'm going to take you and we're going to go see some different communities. And I'm going to show you evidence and how people live. How people live. And how people, what they care, what they don't care about their own neighborhood. Okay? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you. Because you need to understand little things like what you'll see makes a difference. You got to understand why we're frustrated. Okay, we'll sit there and we go, oh, well, it's our environment. Our environment? Well, if you believe in your community, what you believe in, you know, you'll make a difference. You don't try to destroy your community. Let's be honest with this stuff. Let's be honest. Huh? Why try to destroy your community and where you live at? Why? Huh? Check this out. Look at this community here. Huh? Look at this community. Look at this community and tell me what you see. Nice and clean. Right? So, after that, Think about it. Look at this community. Nice and clean, huh? Nice and clean. Huh? Nice and clean. You gotta start off somewhere. The whole object of this video is to show you. This whole object of this video. Remember that. Now we're about to go into another neighborhood. What you think? Have you noticed anything different? Have you noticed anything different? Huh? Have you noticed certain things? Gotta pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, kings and queens. Bear with me. I want you to bear witness and understand what I'm fucking talking about. Are you bear witness to this? You want to know why we don't get along? Hold on. See that? It smells like vomit. It smells like piss. Like I said, you ain't gonna be able to understand this video until you see what I'm showing you. Like I said, bear with me. Bear with me. A whole different scenery now, huh? How y'all doing? Before we get into the continuation of this class, I know I showed you some video. Some of it was a little bit disturbing. I know that. I had to do that. So what I'm about to drop on you, why there's so much frustration in the black community. The sun rises. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. As I said before, I'm going to show you a lot of videos to understand what I'm talking about. It's not about, oh, you're degrading our peoples. Why would you do that? Why would you show these things? It's not about degrading. If we got a problem to show how certain neighborhoods live, including mine, if you got a problem to show evidence and why you're frustrated, let me tell you another thing. Certain people, they believe in their heart that they're doing the right thing. So what they'll do is they'll hide, or try to hide you, or try to hide your ignorance from some of our people. Literally, they'll try to hide in the ignorance of our people instead of educating them. But they don't want to do that. The reason why they don't want to do that is because it's too much. It takes a lot of energy to try to establish. And our people, let me tell you something. Our people are very, very strong-minded. See, it's not about putting your peoples down. It's understanding why our people are so difficult to work with. That's the key. So, we gotta understand that if we don't address these issues, you're gonna repeat the same cycle over and over again. You tell me why in certain neighborhoods, clean as a whistle. You go to other neighborhoods, it's dirty, it's filthy. Garbage is in the hallway. Garbage in the elevators, piss. Huh? And what we do is we put the blinders on. We don't want to see nothing. We want to be ignorant to what's going on. And we all address it in different ways. But the people continue on. It's like they don't stop. Yes, drugs have a big part of it. Yes, alcoholism have a big part of it. Yes, all kinds of activities, negative activities, have a big part of the frustration. The frustration that our people have. First of all, people are tired of being lied to. Okay? You're being lied to constantly. We got to understand the frustration, my brothers and sisters, guys and goddesses, kings and queens. You cannot clean the slate if you continue on ignoring it. Just being honest with you. First video I want to show you is religion. How religion, it can help, but it also hurts. Because you're building up an individual and his family, but the community still suffers. Let's get into that.
There's a church you should see on Lenox Avenue. They got big, beautiful churches. You can't go on Lenox Avenue from 125th Street to 116th Street and walk 4 blocks without seeing a church or a funeral home. And like, Harlem has changed a lot over the last 15, 20 years, but that used to be one of the worst avenues in Harlem, Lenox Avenue. Anywhere there's a lot of churches, it's gonna be fucked up. I went to Gary, Indiana, a lot of churches. You got abandoned homes, abandoned stores, but they still got churches. And like in Brooklyn, we're in Gates Avenue, it's a church every 4 blocks. Jamaica Avenue, Queens, church every 4 blocks. Anywhere you go, it's a lot of churches. It's going to be fucked up. And the reason being is because there's a direct link between crime and poverty. And there's no money circulating in the hood. There's going to be a lot of crime. Like, you know, like I said, you go to a black neighborhood, you got the Chinese restaurants, you got the liquor stores, you got the churches. And the Chinese, see, nobody fucks with Chinese people. You know, Chinese people be in the worst neighborhoods in America, and don't nobody fuck with them. And you got the churches take all the money. See, like Claude Anderson was saying, black neighborhoods are like a bucket with a bunch of holes in it. And the money don't circulate in black neighborhoods. The money don't go from one black hand to another black hand to another black hand. But if you go in a Jewish neighborhood, the money goes from one Jewish hand to another Jewish hand to another Jewish hand to another Jewish hand. It does that 18 times, at least 18 times before it leaves the neighborhood. You go to Chinatown, it does that at least 14 times, 8 to 14 times before leaves Chinatown. In fact, in Chinatown, New York City, they got more banks in Chinatown than they got on Wall Street. You go to Washington Heights, Washington Heights, up here where I stay, the money goes from one Hispanic hand to another Hispanic hand. It does that about 4 times, 4 to 8 times. But when you come to the hood, it don't do it but once or twice, if that much. Maybe because you got barber shops, you got beauty salons, and you know those are black owned. But other than that, black dollars don't bounce in black neighborhoods. And like I always say, you can always tell when a neighborhood is bad because there's a lot of churches. And the main reason they do that is because it pimps the misery of the poor. It teaches you to wait till you die till you get your pie in the sky. It don't teach you to get your shit now. But black people sitting around waiting till they die, then to have it good instead of having it good now. And that's why black neighborhoods be fucked up. Real simple, y'all.
Gods and goddesses, did you get that? It's called a lot of churches means that your neighborhood is bad. If you got a lot of churches in your neighborhood is bad. Neighborhood is unclean. The property level is low. The value is low. Nobody wants to be there. And only a certain, just like the brother said, clear cut and dry. Only certain cultures will come in here because they're not afraid of you. They come in here to get your money. Frustration. Frustration. This is the name of the title. Why are we frustrated with black people? Why are we frustrated with each other? If you're either going to understand what's going on, or you just don't care. But more systematically, you brainwashed. You brainwashed. because you believe that you helping your people. From the scale 1 to 10 is a 0. When your people act foolish and have no respect on what they doing or dialect on how they acting, and you sitting up there participating because you thinking you helping them. You thinking you putting everybody in this little box. There's people who do this, who live like this. Even though you're giving them a speech or you're giving them some type of pat on the hand, or spanking, if you will, that's not helping them. You're not teaching them how to grow. You're not teaching them about finances. You're not teaching them how to expand. And worst of all, you're not teaching them about their culture. You're not teaching them how to enlarge themselves mentally, psychologically, physically. You're not doing it. You're not. It's easy to sit there and scold people. It's easy to sit there and tell them, look what you're doing, what you're not doing. But you need to challenge them to make them become bigger. Now, people make mistakes on their way up to trying to achieve. But if people make mistakes and you're there to snatch it away, and then you want to stomp your feet and tear them apart. And those who out there who sit up there telling people not to love their heritage, love their culture, but everything is about Jesus. Then you got these black people who want to sit there and talk about, oh, you can be in any religion you want. When you got people talking like that, that means they don't know who they are. They don't know what religion they are. They don't know nothing. They'll participate in certain activities when they come to the black culture. You know what I mean? They go to African. They'll participate a little bit. They'll probably go to the African festivals and so on and so on. But they don't really believe that. That's a shadow. It's a shadow of what they really believe. Okay, because you can tell when somebody believes something. It oozes out of them. It oozes out of their system. Okay? You're going to wear something. You're going to feel something. You're going to get something that's going to make you feel proud of who you are. You understand? And a lot of our people that's out there in the street, which I'm going to show you a video, how they don't want to wear any kind of garment of African culture. Let's get into the next video. The next clip. The video I'm about to show you is a small piece because we're having a small problem with African American wearing clothing. Then you have a lot of African American people who are beginning to wear clothing and garments. But then you got these people in these small little corners, even people so-called in Africa, saying that, you know, why are we wearing African clothing? Why are we putting on wearing these symbols, getting symbols on our face and arms and things like that, that you're not even African. Right? Now, I want you to just watch this video and just try to understand the frustration. Alright? I know I said I'm going to show you the piece before, but I just needed to say that a little bit more. Here we go.
Since the civil rights movement, the pride of black culture has grown immensely. So much is that some people would say black people denounce their own African culture.
I never said I wasn't black, I said I wasn't African American. And to me, that's a difference.
But over the past few years, it seems like black celebrities have grown to embrace the African culture, traveling to Africa, wearing different African threads, and even performing in concerts with popular African artists.
Chap chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap 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 chap, look like you. No, I don't wanna look like you.
I wanna apologize for the audio. So straighten that out. But in part 2, what you would have got was different opinions on people's opinions on African culture and the clothes you be wearing. We got to understand the frustration. I'm SHU AMUN RA. I will see you in part 2.